Well, it's starting off to be one of them days. Don't know if you can tell, but that tire ain't round no more. Come down here, I got been cutting on the fence line all week, which I got video of that, but obviously it ain't gonna get put up yet because I ain't done yet. But I'm gonna come down here and grab the 16 and put the grapple on it and go down there and start piling some stuff up, start building a burn pile, and yeah, that tire's flat as a flapjack. So, also think I grabbed the wrong socket. I think I grabbed the wrong socket. Those are definitely not 1560. Okay, hang on. Anyhow, yeah. Loader tractors and front tires do not get along that great. Every year we get at least 2 or 3 flats on this one. Thought about getting the tires foam filled, but I guess they ride like complete and utter shit. And when you don't have the loader on, they just beat the living crap out of you because they got no give to them. And then the way it sounds, when the tire goes bad and they're foam filled, you might as well just figure on scrapping the rim and getting a new one, because I guess it's a bear to get them off. Come on, come off. Got it. But I wanted to have something to put up tonight, so I figured I'd video this little escapade. And also, it was rather quick, but I think I also found a corn head for the, or a 6-row corn head. Just actually got off the phone with the guy like 30 minutes ago. Some of the folks that watch me over in Ohio, although where they're at, they might as well be in Indiana, because you could throw a rock and hit Fort Wayne. Have a pretty decent looking 706N. It needs a little bit of work. They hooked one of the on the left hand, the left hand outer snout and side shield. They hooked it on a barn door backing out of the barn and folded that up, but he says he's got 10 to replace it. And it sounds like the auger pans are getting kind of thin, but I mean, overall the head's in nice shape. It's got more paint left on it than mine. So, and he says it was in the field a year ago, not this last year, year before. So would that be 2 years? However you want to say it, year before last it was in the field. So I'm not gonna say it's not gonna need a little bit of work, but for where it's at, I think it's worth going and looking at. Although if I go and look at it, I'm taking the trailer, because we ain't gonna make more than one trip. But anyway, back to the project at hand. Need to debead that thing. Luckily, we got a handy dandy tire debeater here. Oh, you were just running. I know you're cold, but that's okay. We have a second option for a bead breaker. Slightly overkill, but I think it'll get the job done. And you see from right there, Oh yeah, you can see. Now, the big question is, can I see? Close, come on. There we go. How about that? Not as easy, or not, you know, as practical as an actual bead breaker, but it gets the job done. Well, I aired it up just so I knew where in the tire to look for anything that might be puncturing, and right there, right in the crown, little thorn hole. So, there was a day when tubes were good enough, you could just take that to the tire shop and they'd vulcanize a patch over it and you'd put the tube back in and away you go. But now tubes are so fucking shitty and thin that you might as well just replace the tube. So, I guess I'm going to go get a tube and probably, well, I might as well get two because Ventro season is upon us. I might as well have a pair because it's probably going to happen again. So we will catch you guys here in a little bit. Well, got a tube. I did find what the problem was. There was a, can't see my circle. Nope, too dark. Right here, there was a hedge apple thorn stuck in this thing. At least that's what I've always heard it called. I don't really know if that's the actual name of the tree or not. I've just always heard them called hedge apples because they look kind of like an apple tree. They get, I don't know, 9-10 feet tall when they're full grown, and they get kind of bushy, and the branches are all intertangled and don't really grow like a normal tree, kind of like an apple tree. And they suck to cut, but they get these thorns on them that are about 2 inches long and harder than Kelsey's nuts. And they'll go right through a tire. I've had them go through the sole of my boot before. But that was what was stuck in there. I tried to get it out in one piece so I could show you, but it wasn't having none of it. It broke off, so I had to push it out, and I lost it. But before I put the tube back in, I'm going to shove a plug in the hole. just to keep dirt and anything from working its way in there and scuffing the tube up and tearing it again. Although being a loader tractor and working on fence rows, I'm probably gonna end up putting another tube in this at least one time this winter yet, because that's just the way things go. But yeah, they make an actual tool for this. Yeah. But a carbide burr and a die grinder works just as good. I need a light, I can't see shit. Come on. I want to make sure I actually get it in the hole and not just randomly in the circle. That ought to do her. But it's alright. This gave me an opportunity to get some errands run today while I went into town. I finally made it to the UPS store and got my soil samples sent over to A&L, so said those will be there Monday, so as long as they aren't too busy, I would expect results back from those by the end of next week. And before anybody says anything, in a normal situation, if this was a tubeless tire, you'd want to use tire cement on this when you put it in. They come with adhesive on them. It's not very good adhesive, but, well, it's not even an adhesive, it's more of a sealer. But, literally all this is doing is plugging that hole to keep shit from getting inside the tire. And it's tubed, so the tube's going to be pushing out on the plug, so I ain't going to bother putting cement on it, because I don't want to wait for it to dry to put the tube in, so. Like I say, if it was a tubeless tire, you'd want to cement it up and let it dry and do everything right, but we're just plugging a hole to keep shit from getting in there, not trying to keep air in. Those are smaller than the ones we normally get. There's another plug in here somewhere that's like bigger. But anyhow. That ought to do the trick. Like I say, the tube will push that in there and make that sealer work. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I got soil samples sent out, so I'll expect the results back from those by the end of next week, hopefully, so I can see where we're at. I don't expect anything out of the ordinary, although I am curious to see what my uncle's looks like, where the wheat's at. And I'm curious to see what that muck looks like. Everything else should be, if anything, I would expect to maybe have to put some lime on this year, but other than that, I don't really expect any of the fertilizer or the nutrient analysis to be too far out of the ordinary. Cut that plug off. Fires. And then while I was also over there getting this, I got a tarp to put over the 8700. I initially thought that I had a barn lined up for it. It was going to go over to Cousin Nick's. Well, he the day he was over the day Dad and I got the elevator put back on the side of it, and said that his barn was full. So now I got nowhere to go with it. I wish he'd have told me a month ago so that I had plans, or so I could have planned ahead. So now it's got to go under a tarp. And holy shit, I don't know if any of you guys have bought a tarp recently, but they are expensive. I wanted to get one that would cover it in one piece for the most part, so I bought a 30 by 50. It's $140 for a 30 by 50 tarp. And it's not even an overly great tarp. I wanted to get a heavy, like 10, 15 mil one, and the only thing they had in that size, I probably should have shopped around a little bit and tried to find one that I wanted, but I didn't feel like going to a bunch of places. But it was only a 5 mil, 30 by 50, $140 for a stinking tarp. And I'm pretty sure it was a junk-ass China tarp. I didn't look at the bag, but I'm assuming that's where it's from because, you know, we can't make stuff like that here anymore. That's illegal. I hate putting tubes in. It's a pain in the ass. Okay. But, like I say, so the 8700's got to go under a tarp, unfortunately. Gonna start working on barn plans here at some point. And I think the plans changed a little bit. Initially, I was actually gonna put up a we got a barn. There's a barn about a mile from my house. You're not looking at the tire anymore. There's a barn about a mile from my house that was put up in the late, judging by the way it was built, late 60s, early 70s. It's kind of like a if you looked at it, you'd swear to God it was a loafing shed. But it's an equipment shed. It's like, it looks like a loafing shed. It's a double pitch roof, but it's open only on one side, and then there's sliders in both ends of it. But it's an actual pole building. It's not clear span with trusses. It's got actual poles gridded. That one's on 15 by 15 centers. We're going to build it a little different, but I wanted to copy it because that barn, if I build a barn like that, it would look right at my house. It would look like something that somebody put up there back in the day, and it wouldn't look like a brand spanking new pole barn. And then I also wanted to get galvanized tin for it just so that it looked right, and I think it looked cool, galvanized tin, with possibly some wainscoting on the bottom that might be a different color. I don't know yet. But anyway, so that was the original plan, was I was going to put up a barn like that. Well, with the price of lumber the way they are right now, or the way it is right now, and also I'm not going to bother soaping this bead because we use stuff called Murphy's tire soap, and as long as you don't wash the tire, or as long as you don't like clean the tire up after you mount it, it leaves a residual for a very long time, and that bead is still slick, so there's really no reason to soap it again. But anyhow, back to the barn story. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, which is something that I wanted to do anyhow, it was just a matter of when it was going to happen, is I want to put a lean-to off the back of the big barn at or off the back of the bank barn at my house. And we're also, if you remember, going to put a 10, I think it's going to be a 10-foot slider in the back wall of it, so I can actually park equipment in the basement instead of just having the the little livestock doors. And if I remember right, the way we measured it out, I got enough room back there because the barn is 40 foot long. So I could come out 26 and be 40 long with 14 or 15 foot. Sorry, guys, just showed up to pick up a hose, so I got cut off. But, well, let me stop talking here for a minute, 'cause it might get loud. Whoops. Well, that's not good. Bummer. I fished it back in there without having to dismount the tires, so that was good. Although I do want to check. L6 or 11L1516, so it's the right tube. Just wanted to make sure they didn't give me the wrong tube. Oh, come on, Pop. All right, we seated up. Doesn't look too bad. Give her a little more. After you get the bead seated up, you always want to let the air back out of the tube. That way if it's got a twist or a pinch or anything in it, it'll let the tube relax. Then you can air it back up and it'll be fine. I realize this is going to be a boring video, but it gave me the opportunity to get everybody caught up on the goings-ons. We'll get back to the barn story here in a second as soon as I'm not dealing with air. And an air compressor. run these things pretty damn hard because of the loader. Otherwise they squat. There we go. But anyway, barn story. So that lean-to can be 20. I got enough room to go 26 deep or 26 out from the back of the barn, so it'll be 40 long if I go the length of the barn. And then with the basement and everything, got enough height to go. I think we were figuring on 14-foot doors, 14 foot tall. And that would be plenty tall enough to get the 8700 in there. And that would be big enough to get a combine in there. We'd have enough room to get another, if I got, or when I get a 6-row planter, I could get that in there. Probably a tractor, at least one tractor. And then get the base, or get it where I can get a door in the basement of the barn to get stuff in there. I can get the baler, the rake, my sickle mower, probably a couple, basically anything short, and the Super 55. That can all go in the basement of the barn. And get all that situated, and then that'll also give me an opportunity to get the beams and everything fixed that hold the floor up. And then probably next year I can go through and get the floor fixed in the center bay, and that'll be up to snuff. Because the other thing is, like I say, that barn needs a little bit of work, and I really want to get it taken care of while it's still not going to be that expensive to get taken care of. And since that barn's there, I guess it makes a little bit more sense to put some money into it to make sure that it stays in good condition before I go dumping money into a new barn. Plus, there's going to be some groundwork required where I want to put the barn, so I can get the dirt work done next summer, so if the ground's nice and firm and I got the pad built for when I am ready to go ahead and put that shed up. And there's two, I think they're about 30-foot pine trees. Yeah, they're probably not that tall, they're probably about 25 foot, but there's two pine trees there that I really like, but they're in the way. And if I wait, that'll give me enough time to possibly, I want to talk to the neighbor. I don't think they'll be have an issue with it, because they like what I'm doing there. But if I move those trees right to the property line, because right now they're about 15 to 20 feet on my side of the line. If we put them right on the property line, I could just move them, still keep the trees, and have a spot to put my barn. So anyway, I think that was a half-assed coherent story. So we'll go get this tire put back on, and that'll probably be the end of it for today, because it's obviously dark outside. Well, it's round again anyhow. Until the next time. I would have videoed putting it on, but it was kind of dark under there and I didn't figure it'd show up, so. But this video is long enough and boring enough already. I didn't figure you needed to watch me put lug nuts on. At least loader tractor comes with its own built-in jack. I just set it on a jack stand for safety. But unfortunately, we got an 80% chance of rain Saturday and Sunday, so probably not going to be doing a whole lot of fence row work. Which is unfortunate because the day was really nice. It was 50 degrees out, but now it's raining. So I think what's going to happen is tomorrow we're going to bring this thing up and get that friction disc replaced so that we can get the snow blower on it for Dad. And probably do a barn shuffle and get the 1955 over here. Get my 66 back up in the barn. Bring the Super 55 down here because it's smaller and it fits better. And then we should have room for the 18 in the blower. So, of course, the Mini, that kind of throws a wrench in things because that takes up a tad bit of room. But we'll figure it out. We always do. So, anyway, I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Sorry it was just a boring changing a tire video, but at least you got something for today, so take her easy.